Hey guys, so I'm back for another tutorial, and this one I had to pull out the electric palette from Urban Decay again and do another look for you because I felt like I should have done a more wearable look because the shades that I used last time, some of the shades were not technically meant for the eye area. So I used the wearable, the eye safe shades this time around. I used the teal, the blues, and the green shade. And I actually got this idea from the previous look that I did, the lower lash line. I used these same colors, this same combination on the lower lash line. I'm like, why don't I just do that all over the eye? So that's what I'm doing for you today. And just in case you guys don't know, I mean, most of you know this about the Urban Decay electric palette, is that Slow Burn, Savage, Urban, and Jilted. So the red base shades are not intended for use around the eyes, and people are like, why would they make a palette, an eyeshadow palette, and it's not eye safe? This is not actually being marketed as an eyeshadow palette. It's being marketed as a pressed pigment palette, which means they can get away with using not eye safe products, I mean shades in here, by saying it's not meant for your eye area. It's meant for your face or whatever else, but not your eye area. However they want to go about it. They know people are going to use this for their eyes. They better stop that foolishness. But technically, the shades aren't tested by the FDA for use around the eyes in the USA. In other countries such as Europe and Canada, they may actually be allowed for use on the eyes. But here in the US, the FDA did not approve these colors for use around the eyes, and that's because the red pigment can irritate your eyes and you can develop some kind of sensitivity to the actual pigment that they use to color these eyeshadows. And I'm telling you that right now because I did experience some sensitivity, and my eyes do not get sensitive at all. Okay, my eyes, you could poke me in my eyes don't really get that sensitive. But I did notice wearing the eyeshadows that I did for the previous look that they did get a little bit tender, a little bit sensitive. I didn't break out in a rash, but my eyes did feel a little bit irritated at the end of that eyeshadow look. So that's just something to, you know, be mindful of if you're gonna pick up this palette. But if you want to see this wearable look with the actual eye safe shades, then stay tuned for the tutorial and I'll talk to you soon. So I already filled in my eyebrows, and now I'm going in with some concealer to highlight under my brow, and this is the Anastasia Pro Concealer in shade number 3, and I'm just applying that under my brow with a concealer brush to define the shape and add a highlight in that area. Then of course I'm going to go in and blend that in with a buffing brush. Then on my lid, I'm going to apply my Kat Von D High Voltage Primer in Skin. And this is a nice light primer that's also very sticky. So it's great for use with bright colors because it will help intensify them and really make them pop on the lid. Then because we applied such a sticky base, I'm going to apply a blending shade in the crease. This is Nude Eyeshadow from Smashbox, and I'm just applying that in my crease and brow bone area and making sure we have a nice layer. And this is going to help with blending so the eyeshadows won't stick in this area too much. Then on the inner lid, I'm going to just tap on Freak Eyeshadow from the Urban Decay Electric Palette with an eyeshadow brush. And I'm just tapping on that color first to deposit the color. Then I remove the excess off the brush, and then I'm just going to go around the edges of that color to fade it into the crease. Then I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit more of that color just to build up the intensity. Then for the middle of my lid, I'm going in with that shimmery teal shade, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's called Fringe, and I'm just applying that with the same eyeshadow brush on the middle of the lid and blending it in with the green. And you just want to do light tapping motions in the center to kind of blend those colors together. And again, remove the excess off the brush and just go along the edges to blend that color out in the crease. Then on the outer lid, I'm applying Chaos Eyeshadow, which is this matte, bright, vivid blue. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm applying that with just a stiff, dense dome brush. I'm applying that just on the outer lid, keeping right below the crease area. And I'm just going to use tapping motions to really deposit that color and really have it show up in intensity. Then I'm wiping off the excess off that brush, then doing very light circular motions and windshield wiper motions to blend out the edge of that color into the crease. So very lightly go at the edge of that color. Then I'm grabbing Gonzo eyeshadow on the same brush, and this is still a matte shade, but it's more of a teal shade, and I'm just lightly feathering that in the crease area so it blends upwards on the brow bone. Then I'm gonna grab a blending brush with that same Gonzo eyeshadow and apply it in the crease area, and I'm applying it very lightly and feathering it inwards so we get a nice seamless blend and not too much color is deposited, so we can get a nice fade into that brow bone. And just go back and forth using windshield wiper motions to really blend and fade that color on the brow bone area. Then I'm going back in with the Chaos eyeshadow to just build up that color, because we may have lost some during blending, and that's going to really make that color pop in the outer crease area. Then I'm just going to clean up the edge with a makeup wipe. And for my inner tear duct area, I'm just going to use Light Show eyeshadow from Bare Minerals on a pencil brush. And this is just a shimmery light vanilla shade with some blue and green sparkles, very light shimmer. I'm just applying that on the inner tear duct area and blending it in. For the highlight under my brow, I'm going in with Velvet Nude eyeshadow from Bare Minerals with a flat paddle brush. And this is just a matte nude shade that will work well to blend out the edges of those colors on the brow bone. Then for my lower lash line, I'm going to do a mixture of that Chaos eyeshadow and Gonzo eyeshadow that we used on the lid. And I'm using a flat brush to get right along the lower lash line. Then I'm going to blend out the edges of that color with a small blending brush so that it's nice and faded and there are no harsh lines. Then for my lower waterline, I'm going in with the Perversion Cream Eyeliner on an eyeliner brush. And I'm also going to line my upper lash line with the same eyeliner with an angled brush. And just create a very subtle cat eyeliner. Then for my mascara, I'm applying a combination of my Tightline Primer from IT Cosmetics, just to the base of my lashes first. And then I'm going in with my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara for my upper and lower lashes. And then for my lashes, I'm going to apply these Eye Envy lashes from Kiss. This is style KPE09, and these are nice natural lashes. And I'll be right back to finish up the rest of the face. So here go the eyes, completely done. So let's now move on to the lips. Now for the lips, I'm going in with something a little bit more peachy color, which I find works really well with green and blue eyeshadow. So I'm going in with a satin lip pencil from NARS. This is Lodi, and I'm going to apply this all over my lips and blend it in. Now if you apply a bolder lip color and you want to tone it down a bit, you can just tap over it lightly with your fingers just to diffuse that color so it doesn't show up as intensely. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tap out a little bit of that color so it's not as intense as when I first applied it. So on top of that, I'm going to apply a glossy stain from YSL, and this is in the shade 102, which is a peachy shade with a lot of shimmery golden sheen. So I'm going to apply that on top of the lip color that we placed on, and that is going to give us a little bit of shine and sheen to the lips. So there go the lips. Let's move on to the rest of the face. So I'm going to apply a little bit of a highlight under my eyes and down the bridge of my nose and also in my forehead area. And for that, I'm going to use my Pro Concealer from Anastasia, and this is in the shade 405, and I'm going to apply that with my oval number 6 brush from MAC and just apply that in the areas that I want to show a little bit of highlight and blend it in. And then of course my next step is to blend that out with my Dampen Beauty blender sponge just to go around the edges and make sure that it fades seamlessly into my foundation. So now I'm just going to go ahead and set the highlighted area with a translucent powder. This is my Mineral Finishing Powder from Laura Mercier, which is just a translucent shade, and I'm just applying that with a powder puff from NYX, and I'm just pressing that over the highlighted areas to set them in place and ensure that they don't move or shine throughout wear. And then for my contour, I'm going to apply my NARS Contour Duo in the shade Gina, which is the darkest shade they have available, and I'm going to apply that with my IT Cosmetics angled powder brush, and I'm just going to apply this to the hollows of my cheeks and really blend it in. And I'm making sure that I kind of create a very subtle highlight, so blend in this color, and I'm just keeping it to the backs of my contour area. And then I'm also going to apply a little bit of this to my forehead to give myself a little bit of a tan, make it seem like I caught a little color. And then I'm going to move on now to my blush. I'm going to use this kind of dusty orange shade from the Pierre Hardy collection from NARS, and this is in the shade Rotund. And I'm going to apply that with my Suku cheek brush because this is a very intense color. So this brush is going to allow us to apply a very light and subtle flush of color to our cheeks, and it won't be as overwhelming if we used a more dense brush. And now I'm going to strategically place a little bit of Golden Glow on my cheeks, and I'm going to use the Becca Pressed Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Topaz, which is this golden shimmery shade. And again, I'm using my Suku cheek brush because this is going to allow us to apply this color very lightly, so it's very subtle and it doesn't come off like a disco ball. And that is key for oily skin. You want to be very precise, very light-handed when it comes to shimmery products. So there you go, guys. That's the finished look, and I absolutely love this oceanic kind of mermaid-esque look that I got from this palette because I love blues. Blues are my favorite colors to use, hands down, and I think Urban Decay really has a winner here with this palette. I mean, all their palettes have been really popular, but this one I truly have fallen in love with. I absolutely love it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this second look from the Urban Decay palette, and if you definitely liked the video, hit subscribe, hit like, hit favorites, all that good stuff, and share with your friends. As usual, I'm gonna leave links below to my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page where you can keep up with upcoming looks and tutorials and just generally interact with me if you like. And also stay tuned for a couple of videos that I have coming up. I have reviews, new tutorials, and haul videos for you. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. So there you go, guys. That's the finished look, and I am absolutely loving it. I love these kind of bold, bright looks. They're definitely up my alley.